Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Naked Coach Collective. I'm Ian. I'm on my own this week. No B or D. Not that I mind too much, I'll be honest. And today I'm going to be talking about freedom, what freedom really means, and what it doesn't mean. Society tells you that freedom is time, money, options. Freedom is a nice house, a good job with a good salary. But society is wrong. And I want you to really sit with that for a second. Because for most of us, freedom is this shiny, seductive idea that is just always out of reach. It's something we're constantly chasing, something we're sacrificing for, something we assume will arrive one day when the stars align and the pressure dies down. But I've learned on my own personal journey that freedom doesn't come from more options. It doesn't come from quitting your job or buying the dream home or scaling a business. It comes from something much deeper. And that's what we're going to be exploring today, because this isn't just another podcast episode. This is your calling to understand where you sit on the levels of freedom. So, as I was saying, there's that kind of myth around freedom. Many of us are chasing this illusion. We believe that if we hit this certain income, if we move to Bali where it's so much cheaper, or we work 4 hours a week, we'll finally feel free. But you can be successful and still be trapped. You can be financially free and still be so unfulfilled that it hurts, and you can have time freedom and still feel lost, not knowing what to do with all that time freedom that you've got, feeling trapped by the amount of time that you've got. You see, most people aren't chasing freedom, they're chasing an escape from something. So let me say that again. They aren't chasing freedom, they're chasing an escape. Escape is not the same thing as freedom. Escape numbs, freedom heals. Escape avoids, freedom faces head on. Escape runs, whereas freedom reclaims. And I know this because I've been there. For those regular listeners, you all know my story. I had this outer shell of success, but inside I was kind of crumbling. I had this buzzing fog of noise constantly ringing around my head. I would just want complete and utter silence. I wouldn't want to talk to anyone when I shut my laptop down at the end of the day, which was 16, 17 hours of work into that particular 24-hour period. It felt like I was suffocating in a life I didn't choose, but it was a life I had created. And that was kind of my clarity moment. Is there was just one day, it was a Thursday evening, it was in December. It's that kind of time of year when you go to work and it's dark outside, you get home from work and it's dark outside, everything you do is in the bloody dark. And my little dog Milo, little border collie, came up to me, he rested his paws on the side of my chair and he starts pawing at my shoulder just here, and he starts whimpering and he just wants to go for a pee and go bed, right? And so I push out, and as I come away from the glare of the screen, I just notice the darkness all around me. So I look outside and the neighbour's lights are all out. My partner's already gone to bed because she's sick and tired of waiting for me again. And I just have this overwhelming crush of guilt just hit me. So I'm sat there with my head in my hands because of this fog of noise that's just buzzing, literally buzzing around my head. And I have this overwhelming crush of guilt, and it kind of just washes down into the pit of my stomach. Milo here is whimpering at the side of me because he's desperate for a pee. And I just quietly asked to myself out loud, is this it? Is this it? I'm sure many of you have possibly asked yourself that same question. Is this it? Stuck in something that you didn't sign up for? But that's how I kind of knew, because that situation happened to me when I had started a business to escape that 9 to 5. So I was doing that escaping. I was running from something, right? And so that kind of takes me into the distinction I have around freedom and the three levels of freedom that I apply to it whenever I'm talking about it. So the first one is freedom from. So this is where most people start. It's where I started just then. It's about escaping what's holding you back. It's old beliefs, toxic environments, or relationships. It's jobs that just drain you. It's that if I could just get out of this, it's that stage. That is freedom from. It's a pain. It's discontent. It's noticing that you've got that discontent. And we've all been there. You're stuck in a career that doesn't fulfill you. You know you're capable of more, but you're kind of paralyzed into staying in this situation because you don't want to make a change just in case that change doesn't work out. What then? You might not be able to pay the bills, right? Or you make that change, you start something new, but here's where most people stop. They escape from, but never decide what they want to move towards. And that leads on to the second level of freedom, which is freedom to. So this is where you start to build. You design your life. You choose what kind of business you want to create, the way you want to work, the people you want to serve. You start living on purpose. But here's the catch. If you're not careful, this stage can just become another trap. Because without deeper alignment to your core values, you might be building something successful, but it isn't you. And so what you might do is you're propping your ladder up against a wall that you think is the right wall, but when you get to the top of that ladder and you look out, you don't like the view. And so this is where pure freedom comes in. So this is the summit. So it's not about your environment. It's not about what's on your calendar. It's about who you are when you strip everything else away. It's the feeling you get, or the feeling I get, on a mountaintop with a wind in my face, right? Nothing to prove. It's quiet. It's peace. And in that moment, I know who I am. And I like it there, right? That's the pure freedom that you're looking for. And you don't arrive there. You become it. You become that person who is pure freedom. It's not a thing. It's who you are at your inner core. It's a mindset. Let me introduce you to Julie. It's a story, right? So Julie's story might sound familiar because she could be any one of us and kind of aligns to what I was just talking about, right? So from the outside, Julie's life looked solid. Respected job, great income, built the life she thought she was meant to live. But inside, she was dying slowly. Dying by inches. I've heard that somewhere. Dreading Monday mornings, sat in the car park before she goes into work crying, but walking into the office smiling like nothing's wrong. But eventually Julie woke up and said, this is enough. She left the job. She took the leap and started her own business, but she didn't really know what she was doing. So she started looking around at what others were doing. She picked a niche that felt smart, a business model that felt smart and safe. And to be honest, she crushed it. She built a six-figure business. She got the recognition. She got clients. And on paper, Julie was killing it. But something still wasn't right. She'd wake up with that same ache, that same little whisper of, is this it? Is this really it? Because here's what Julie had. Ownership? Yeah, she took that leap. She created something. She built a six-figure business. There's nothing wrong with Julie's action taking. Freedom from? Yep, she escaped the old life. But she was missing something. She was missing a North Star. She was missing alignment. She'd built a life that looked free, but it didn't feel like it was hers. And now Julie was ashamed. She was ashamed because she was unhappy. Who is she to be unhappy when she has all of this? She was ashamed to even say she was unhappy because she had it all. But let me be clear, Julie isn't broken. the system she built was. And Julie isn't a rare case, right? She's everywhere. Maybe she's even sitting at home now in your mirror, right? Now, here's the formula which Julie was kind of missing. And it's a framework that I want to give you so you know what pure freedom is and where it comes from. And we break it down like this. It's the North Star multiplied by your alignment multiplied by ownership. That equals pure freedom. So let's break it down again. So we got the North Star. So this is your guiding vision, right? Your why. So ask yourself, I mean, you can do this now if you want, or at the end of the show. Pause the episode and ask yourself, what would I love? Who do I want to become? What legacy do I want to build and leave? That's your North Star. And then we've got alignment. So are you living by your true values? Or are you hustling out of fear or obligation or someone else's dream? So ask yourself, are my values in health, money, love, and time all pulling in the same direction? Or are some off going in their own direction? And there's a quiet conflict between my values. And then there's ownership. So are you radically responsible for how you show up? No blaming, no excuses, no passengers. Ownership. You are the authority on your life, right? You created this life, so go create a new one. And the reason we multiply these three different things, so we North Star multiplied by alignment, multiplied by ownership, is because if you have 0 in any of these areas, your overall result is still 0. You cannot multiply anything by nothing. And if you're building with 0 alignment or 0 vision, your structure will collapse, as Julie's was beginning to. So let me ask you this. Where are you right now? Freedom from? Freedom to? Or are you starting to walk that path to pure freedom? Do you have a North Star that excites the hell out of you? Are your actions and values aligned? Are you showing up with full ownership of who you are and where you are going? This isn't about shame. It's not about guilt. It's not about judgment. It's just about clarity. Because when you know where you are on this path, you can start walking towards the summit, that pure freedom. And you don't have to do it alone. That's where coaches come in. That's why I created this podcast. That's why I'm creating a new podcast. It's why I host vision workshops. It's why I go and speak. It's why I guest on other podcasts. It's why I coach. There's so much support out there for you. You just have to find it and find whoever it is giving that support that is right for you, because I might not be right for you. Now, if any of this has kind of hit home, good. It means you're awake. So now the question is, what are you going to do with that awareness? Everything's about awareness. So what I want you to do is I want to invite you to start journaling on those questions that I just spoke about. So the questions were, what would I love? Who do I want to become? What legacy do I want to leave? Are my values all pulling in the same direction? How am I showing up for myself? Are my dreams mine or somebody else's? That's a good one, because so many people think they want something, but when they dig deep, they actually find it's what their parents wanted for them. It's what society wants for them. It's not what they truly want. That's a good one to ask. So, are my dreams what I want? Or are they what others want? Look, I hope this helps. It's a short episode again today. Share it with someone who you think needs to hear it. Like and subscribe. And remember, folks, be there, be bare, and be naked.